Hello, hello, and welcome back to
What the
DreamHack
hell?
Winter 2011. I have my very thirsty co-caster, Mr. Bitter, with me. How you doing, Mr.
I
Bitter?
wasn't paying any attention at all. I was eating my tea and drinking my
You're just taking
sandwich.
big chomps away at that tea, making sure you had the hearty, healthy throat ready to scream at the top of your lungs for this game.
Nerchio! I'm a big Nerchio fan. He's one of my favorite Zerg players. The first time I saw Nerchio play was in a TL Open, and he was defending a Blink Stalker all-in with Pure Roach, which obviously is possible, but usually you see
Yeah.
Speedlings mixed in or just pure Speedling, but he did it with Pure Roach, and I was like, this will never work. And then Nerchio makes it work, and he types in all caps, Nerchio style, as soon as he cleans up the push. And ever since then, I've just loved Nerchio. Really friendly guy.
I mean, we even saw that same style of defense where he ended up getting all his drones into the fray to try to hold off that stunning push by Sase. It wasn't quite enough, and I'm really shocked that he ends up choosing Shakura's Plateau as his map. You know, it's not that it's a bad map for Zerg, it's that maps like Metalopolis are better for Zerg, so that does surprise me quite a bit. Whoever wins this map, if Sase wins this map, then he will advance 2-0 in his group. If Nerchio wins, he will tie it up 1-1. In the bottom right, we have your ever so favorite Zerg player in the whole wide world, Mr. Bitter. It is AAA Nerchio.
AAA, of course, his old team. He is a member of Team Acer along with Elfie. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen is his opponent, the blue Protoss player, Sase. And Sase's control on the last game was Sase. This is so bizarre. Nerchio picks Shakura's Plateau, and Sase's like, I'm going to go Gateway in my base first.
Better not expand early. That's too dangerous on Shakura's Plateau. But I think you really highlighted the reasoning in one of the earlier matches of Sase. It almost always turns into 2-base versus 3-base on this map. Protoss early expands. Zerg says, great, I'm going to take my natural and then immediately take the top right natural. However, Sase says, well, how about I go my 1-base style?
And then you do whatever the hell you want to do in response to it. That might actually be the reason why Nerchio picked this map.
Yeah, and Sase can force it to be 2-base versus 2-base by doing some sort of 3-gate push. We saw him nearly win with a 3-gate push when he tried it earlier yesterday.
See that cute probe micro there in the main base of Nerchio, just trying to deny mining on that close mineral patch. That's so annoying. But honestly, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're fast enough, if you can multitask well enough, yeah, absolutely do it. But pennies is the effect.
Pennies gained, pennies earned.
14 pool for Nerchio. Looks like he wants to go for something like a 16 hatch. Is that drone for a scout? No, it is going to be the expanding drone. Nerchio is about to scout Sase, and he's going to be a little bit confused when he sees, oh, it's an in-base gate, so not what he was anticipating. And, you know, I kind of like the way this is going to shape up for Sase, because with the no gas opening from Zerg, Sase's going to be able to throw out a Stalker and a Zealot. And
God, he doesn't want this one drone in. What is happening in this game? Oh, what is happening? Oh, the drone gets away anyways.
Yeah.
And you know why he's allowed to pull 3 guys off gas?
Because of the pennies.
Because he's gaining pennies, my friend.
That's crazy. No loss for Sase whatsoever.
Does look like in that main base, Sase going to go straight for that assimilator. You know, a lot of players ordinarily would get that Zealot straight away, so that way they could chrono boost out that subsequent Stalker and immediately begin attacking. But I think Sase has something a little bit more ominous planned. I fully expect him to do that 3-gate push we saw him do earlier yesterday, where, again, he ends up waltzing forward with a small number of Zealots and Sentries, and then just immediately begins warping in Zealots. Generally, when you see a 3-gate expand, you think maximum Sentries and a Zealot. No, Sase going absolutely bonkers.
Yep, makes it a little bit more aggressive. So Nerchio, we can see him just checking around the corners of his base with that drone. Doesn't want any proxy pylons to surprise him. Still no third base from Nerchio. You don't really want to throw down that super fast third when you see a Protoss player going in base gateway first, because if you get 4-gated with a super fast third base, it's kind of a instant loss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of builds end up being instant losses as well. And this is going to be the big tip-off to Nerchio that there's something ominous in the air. And, you know, Sase could go for a usual Nexus and then plant down these gateways. As we can see, it's still a fairly constricted front line. You can easily force field your way into a defense. But Sase clearly has some intention to do a push. Here comes Sentry number 3 from his gateway. Not be surprised to see him make that same push attempt as the loudest spine crawler in the world. And, you know, I don't know if this has happened to anyone at home, but where some of your sounds won't quite play at the same volume levels. And it is always great when you're playing a nice, quiet game of StarCraft, and then you unburr your own spine crawler.
And it sounds like a cannon going off.
Yeah, and I just jump in my chair. It was way better in Brood War when I would try to storm with my Templar, and it'd be like, not enough mana. And I'd be like, oh my god, like freaking out. And I hope that happened to everyone at home.
Yeah, we do have that sentry push you were talking about, Day 9. Nurture got a great scout of this expand, though, with some excellent Overlord placement. Does he realize that he's getting attacked is the next real question. We see 12 Lings on the way, second Spine Crawler coming up, so he's going to be relatively safe, especially if he uses these Spines to focus down these sentries.
Well, looks like here's an attempted poke up by Sase.
Oh, and he's going to immediately cancel that pylon, saying, yeah, I probably can't attack you.
Yeah, no big deal. Just going to go ahead and retreat, and it's exactly as you were saying. Look at that, 2 base versus 2 base.
Yeah, comes out really, really close here. 31 drones to 27 harvesters, and Sase showing us that it's okay to play this way.
Really cool. And immediately getting that robo facility. I think I know what's coming up next. It's going to be a little warpy, prismy.
Yes, indeed. Sase loves that warp prism.
You know, let me just, can I paint a picture for you?
Okay. Oakley.
Yeah, so there's me and you and Nick and Dan, and we're casting sort of to the max. We casted. We got up at around 7 yesterday. I got up at 6 because a little bit of jet lag, and then of course we casted until about 1 a.m. And then we had to pack everything up and head back to the hotel, and you shower, you get ready for bed, and by then it's like 2:30. And you go to bed and your alarm goes off and it's 7 again. And you don't set your alarm for 7. You set it for like 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
You don't really look at the time because you're not sure what time it is when your phone's not getting signal.
And then it goes off and you're just like, bleh.
And then it goes off and you think you haven't slept yet, but you realize 4.5 hours has passed and you got to go back. You got to cast for another. You got to cash for another 16 hours, man.
And next thing you know, you're saying, warp prism it.
And my brain's like, add on another prismy. Add on another prismy. And I'm like, okay, brain.
That sounds like a great idea.
I just keep doing it. And, of course, everyone in the chat is like, oh, my God, damn, is he on drugs? Look at his eyes. They're bloodshot. I'm like, yeah, I haven't slept. I've been talking for like 15 years.
We're on the drug called StarCraft 2.
And, of course, the prismy loading on up.
Yeah, loading on up, moving on out, and Nurture has no idea just yet. He's got a couple Overlords in good spots, though, so the Prism will probably fly right past something of Nurture, so he'll have an idea for it. Look at Nurture going up to Spire. Could he possibly be wanting to play Muta?
That would be a very unusual play. The Tickle drop going to be dropping in the back of the base. Sase with his trademark Sentry drop play. This isn't useful just for nibbling away at drones, but also for nabbing these Overlords. Oh, holla!
Yes, nice force fields there. Sase going to get an Overlord and a couple of Link. Will he get the Overlord?
Oh, wow. Is he? Oh, and it does pop into a little pile of Overlord Gaki pieces.
Yes, indeed. Picks up those sentries right away and just trying to bait in these Zerglings, and he's doing a really nice job of it. Great force fields there by Sase, just getting units for free. Force field is a great spell, Day 9. Oh, dear. Single sentry being left behind.
Wow. Too bad that there is not the no sentry left behind act for this Protoss player. I'm really starting to get nervous for Sase. Nerchio is doing a great job saving up all his larvae. There's the 9 Mutalisks, and oh, bam, look at that. Roach speed also coming up as well. Nerchio.
Yeah, Nerchio thinking forward. He's got his next transition already planned out. These Mutas are going to just Rafflecopter all over that Warp Prism. And then Sase's going to be like, oh, darn, I have Robotech against Mutalisks.
Uh-oh, and there's the force field at the ramp, though. It's going to be a little bit dangerous. We see a couple of those Zealots warping in now. And hello, Mutalisks, and there's the Guardian Shield.
Yep,
Sase
surprise.
realizes what's up. Does manage to pick off a single Mutalisk.
A little careless by Nerchio.
A lot of gas.
A little bit careless by Nerchio. Zealots are going to come run down here into the main base. Nerchio is not paying all that much attention to it. Loses a drone or two there. Sase's kind of stuck on 2 bases, though, and again, Day 9, he's on Robotech, so he's got so few Stalkers on the map, only 8 Stalkers against 10 Mutas. Nerchio, if he plays his cards right, could just kill everything.
Oh, we see the push up into the main, an amazing force field, and we see that those Colossi rip apart the Zerglings with relative ease. There's the +1 armor upgrade incoming. The Twilight Council is done. You would immediately suspect some blink play would follow that. Mutalisks, though, are ripping up absolutely all of those probes, and if we come check if those workers lost, not as many have been killed off as you'd think, but it doesn't mean that Sase's still doing too great on probes.
Sase's in a lot of trouble, I think, day 9. His blink is just now starting. All of his sentries are dead, so now Lings can run past. The Colossi are not going to help at all against these mutas, and so, Dark Shrine going to go down. That is a very interesting choice.
Yeah, I always think that one of the best responses to a player who is going for Ling Muta is Dark Templar. It forces the Zerg player to suddenly get all passive and deal with all those Dark Templar. It's the repositioning problem. The Zerglings and Mutas are always going to be offensively positioned, and then you can't really walk anything across the map. War Prisms get killed by Mutas, Zealots, and Stalkers obviously have to engage directly, but the DTs can slither in and then force those Zerglings back into a defensive position.
Yeah, I could not agree with, Nerchio, what are you doing?
Dirchio.
Yeah, no, I agree with the point you were just making, Day 9, about the Dark Templar. I have lost countless games where I've got like 25 mutas, and I'm like, yeah, I can't lose. And I look down, and there's DTs in 3 of my bases, and I don't have any detection in place.
Yeah, it's really, really easy to lose a ton of those to DTs. And here comes the big blink from Sase. The big one, he gets 1. Can he get 2?
Yep.
He does manage to snipe off 2 Mutalisks.
I find it hilarious that little Stalker Tracer beam literally slices a Mutalisk into like 3 parts.
It's just so great. It's that total anime-style death.
Indeed. Quite a few gateways down here for Sase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways. Am I counting that correctly?
You see there's some Stalkers that have been left behind down in the south position. Do manage to get Blunk up to the high ground. Some very nicely placed cannons there by Sase.
Indeed. Sase doing a good job of playing defense here, but Nerchio's just expanding all around the map. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do, and he still has that option of the big roach switch. Day 9. I see you looking very closely at the screen, and I'm confused by it.
You see 2 DTs have been morphed in, and they're starting to head cross map. Nerchio might see that little ripple.
I don't know. We see no Overseers starting up, no Spore Crawlers going down. I don't think
oh
he
my God, he
it.
is aware of it. He is just going to sit right on top of them and then turn all the way back around and ignore them.
Yeah, still no Spore Crawlers, still no Overseers. I don't think that he's realized that those are DTs. Maybe he thought he was chasing an Observer. I don't know, but Nerchio's going to take some damage to that. Muta's into the main base once again. They're trying to pick off just a couple pylons, I guess. 170 supply for Nerchio, and Sase has stopped his DTs right outside Nerchio's third base as if he was wanting to be a little bit pacifist.
Now he's moving all the way in. What does he kill, drones or the hatch? Looks like he's going straight for the hatch. He doesn't want to just try to deny some mineral mining. He wants to make sure that no gas can come from this hatch.
Yeah, I like that choice. The Overseers are now being morphed. Where are the Overseers being morphed? Not anywhere near this third base. That hatchery is probably going to fall, almost certainly going to fall. Yes, that hatchery will fall. And I think pretty worthwhile. There's the Overseer. Lings will clean up the DTs for now. But Sase's he's done a nice little maneuver there.
And again, it's about the positioning. Look at just what we were talking about earlier. Those DTs suddenly have all the Zerglings positioned back home defensively, but look at the Mutalisks doing a good bit of damage, but you've got to be so careful, Nerchio. Sase gaining a lot of momentum, and he is just going to go drill the front.
Yeah, he's got to be careful as well, though. If he pushes out with too much, the Mutas could just...
Oh,
man, more great blinks from Sase. Picks off a couple more Mutas. The Mutalisk count down to just 25 now. Nerchio is, he's at 185 supply. Oh, going into Banelings? That's a really interesting transition.
I do like this play if he can get a nice land on all those Stalkers.
Going to be tough with Blink done, though. Look at all these spine crawlers. That's a hell of a spine crawler wall.
Oh, there's a Mutalisk coming in again. We see that it's the extra long range of those Colossi helping out a good bit. We see Stalkers man. Everywhere.
Big blinks all over the place, and Nerchio is just not getting good trades with his Mutas. Down to 23 Mutas now against 42 Stalkers. 42 Stalkers.
42. The meaning of life is in the Stalker count of Sase, and it looks like he is just going to go for it. Nerchio forcing the engagement. The Banelings rolling in with no speed. They don't quite have speed yet. Oh, no. He's just letting the Colossus take much of the damage.
Wow, the Banelings really doing a ton of damage to Sase's army there, and Nerchio is now going to be content to back it up to the Spine Crawlers without the Colossi. Sase can't really press the issue.
See the Transfuse, the loudest spell in StarCraft 2, making some serious noise. And there's the blink up onto the high ground. That's a bold play by Sase. He is going into ninja mode. and also has a lot of Overlords that are going to be free pickings.
What does he want to kill, though? Oh, he's going to micro backwards as if... Oh, and there's the nice blink micro from Sase. Needs to get out of there, though. Banelings and Mutas fly in here. I think there's too many Mutas, Day9.
Oh, no. If he loses all these Stalkers, that would be potentially game-ending. But likewise, if all the Mutalisks fall, then Nerchio is going to be in rough shape.
Oh, this is actually really close. Baneling's going to come down here. Nerchio finally deciding to disengage. He's going to walk out of that with 11 Mutas left against only 17 Stalkers. The only units Sase has on the map right now, 17 Stalkers and an Observer.
Looks like Sase is trying to do some nice blink control to pick off these Banelings. Has to be really careful. The Banelings are so strong. He's morphing in. Oh, look, that's a cute little Zealot. Oh, look at that cute little Zealot. He's like blocking everything off with that Zealot. And Nerchio only just now rebuilding that third hatchery.
Yes, indeed. 65 drones for Nerchio, 45 probes for Sase, who blinks forward to pick off a couple of Overlords down there just because he could. 87 supply to 142. Nerchio is looking around as if he wants to try and find an opening on Archon switch coming up from Sase. I don't mind this at all. The Archons are really good against the Banelings.
Sase now trying to pull back to deal with those Mutalisks. He did spend one blink to get to the Mutalisks faster, but I almost always feel like you should save up a blink. So that way you can rush forward like that. Oh no, will he actually lose 2? That would be very dangerous. We see an attempted walk forward with those Banelings, but Sase is on it.
He's defending really, really well given the fact that he's down 70 supply. These Stalkers are pretty well upgraded. We can see he's got 2 attack, 1 armor on them. The Mutas at just +1 carapace. What do you think is up with the upgrade choices of players that play Spire? Sometimes we see attack upgrades, sometimes we see carapace upgrades. Have you looked into that at all?
Or for the
Mutas?
You know, I really think it should just be attack. I straight up think. I mean, it definitely will be able to absorb a couple of additional hits. However, what is so important about Mutalisks is running away and engaging when you have the clear lead. And you want to be able to do damage in spots like that as opposed to take fewer hits.
Yeah, a Muta's not supposed to get hit in the first place, in general. But when used in a straight-up fight, I guess I can kind of see the logic. Nerchio's done a great job of just beating up Sase's economy. I heard a big blink. Okay, they're not going to try to engage the Mutas directly, just trying to keep that that main base safe. Not even mining in the natural is Sase. Nerchio's Mutas have just been excellent this game.
Yeah, I honestly think that Nerchio is setting himself up for a clear win. More Stalkers are morphing in. The only way I think that Sase is going to end up doing anything is if he gets back up to that ridiculous 42 Stalker count again.
Yeah, all the way down to just 27 Stalkers is Sase. But more importantly, he's only got 32 mining probes against about 70 drones and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. Of course, Nerchio's mined out his main, but that means he still has 4 remaining bases with resources.
Clustered Mutalisks.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those Archons. They do deal a ton of splash damage. Look at all those Banelings.
That is a substantial amount of Banelings, and it looks like Nerchio's decided that now is the time to just go for it. Banelings rolling in, but Archons do one-shot Banelings. The entire forces are there. The Banelings roll right on in, and there's some nice micro, but oh no, the Banelings do so much damage to the Stalkers. Mutalisk cleaning everything up. Sase in a atrocious position. Has almost no units left, but of course, in never give up, never surrender mode, he's going to continue to try to blink against these Mutalisks.
Yeah.
And now Sase will have to pull back, and Nerchio with the unusual choice of Shakuras Plateau showing
makes it work.
What he had in store.
Makes it work quite nicely. Mutalisks aren't something you often see on Shakuras Plateau.
And there it is, good game.
GG from Sase.
Very nice game by
Ties
Nerchio.
up the series.
Clean, well executed. I mean, except for that upgrade, should have gotten attack, man.
No, that was a great game on both sides, I thought. Sase really defended incredibly well with Stalkers. Like, it is so hard to defend Mutas with Stalkers. Yeah.